Give thanks every time. All right, okay. Something new for today, bringing you massive value, as I would say, in all types of ways. So today I'm going to talk about the artifacts. So I learned about a new feature in Claude. It's called artifacts. And essentially, if you're a developer, a founder, or a freelancer, I want you to think about how much time you wasted this week or any time you're trying to explain to someone else what you've already built and where you're going. You finish a coding session or even a work session, whatever it might be. Doesn't even have to be coding now, just Claude Code. You can use it for all types of things. So now you got to open up Slack, write a long markdown message, or hop on a 20-minute Zoom call just to say, here's what I did, here's what's broken, here's what we need to code tomorrow. So it's pure friction. It kills the momentum. But watch this. Look at my screen. I'm about to show you something. This is an artifact. So basically, I found out about artifacts. I asked Claude to create an artifact. Claude told me that artifacts is only a command through the Claude Code desktop app. So I use Claude Code in the terminal. There's a lot of reasons for that. Basically, I had to tell Claude Code just to create the artifact, and it did it no problem. It was super quick. And one of the main things that I was like really frustrated with Claude was it'll give me random updates of like, here's what we've done so far, here's what we still have to do, and just the time to read it and like, the strain on my eyes from reading all these updates all the time, I had to tell Claude like stop doing that. So now I've got this artifact feature, and I can just basically tell it to create an artifact every time I want a snapshot of where we are and where we're going to go. And this is way better visually than just reading the text off the Claude terminal. It put it in HTML, so I can just open it up just like a regular browser. And I think this is really how I'm going to start probably start end to end, all my sessions now. So my brain can just get a better visual aid of what's going on. So I didn't design this dashboard. I didn't write this HTML. I didn't manually format these progress trackers. This is a live Claude Code artifact. It completely changes how humans interact with terminal AI. While I was building my backend database tables inside my terminal, Claude Code compiled my Git history, tracked my open tasks, analyzed my codebase architecture, and generated a private live web link that updates itself in real time as I code. So in this video, I'm going to show you why the smartest developers are abandoning Markdown completely. So Markdown files are just like, a bunch of text. I'm going to show you how to use Claude Code to build interactive throwaway dashboards and how you can use this exact feature to save hours of project management time every single week. Let's dive in. So the problem with the old AI chat, basically AI gave you a cold wall of text or code blocks. You had to copy it, paste it into VS Code or the browser, however you used to use it, however you currently use it, launch the server just to see it. So an artifact is like a standalone web page that Claude Code publishes directly from the terminal session to a private secure URL. And Anthropic engineers are using HTML instead of Markdown for AI plans now. Markdown is fine for a 20-line checklist, but for, once you get over a couple hundred lines of code, Markdowns become painful walls of text. HTML gives the AI denser information layouts. It can use tabs, CSS visual styling, tables, custom colors, and navigation buttons. So this was like the most basic format that I had to do, but if I wanted to, I could give it way more instructions on how to make a better format. So I'm going to tell you how people are unleashing this feature now as I speak. So in the past, people used, GitHub text descriptions, but now Claude can build this HTML page with annotated code diffs and system charts. So I didn't really have many charts done here, but I can tell in the future as I make more of these artifacts, I'll know what things I want to have charts applied for, graphs, whatever makes more sense. And, I'm a one-person solo entrepreneur right now, but I'm seeing massive value to this. Like when I do start to like hire a team, hire freelancers, however I do it, this is going to be a perfect way that I don't have to explain everything. Every day I can just get one of these printed out. I can have Claude create a new artifact and I can just hand it off to my team. Another use case is if you're doing a test and something breaks and you want to understand what's wrong, Claude can scan the terminal logs and compile a beautiful visual timeline of exactly what file caused the crash. So, you could just take a screenshot of that and save it every time something happens, and that'll give you a better visual history of what's going on. And these terminal artifacts are private by default and restricted securely to your team organization. They can't leak to the public internet unless you do that yourself. All right, so I'm going to show you what I'm working with this first artifact. Essentially, I've got the new business that I just started, Prana, and this is the marketing system. So I'm starting with the marketing. Marketing is very important. You got to do all the market research before you actually start building a project, whatever it's going to be, or service, a business. You want to make sure that you understand target market, everything like that. So that's what I'm doing with this marketing system, and just started this yesterday. This is the second business of my challenge from $0 to $1 million, Vibe Coding Live. And you can check it out on YouTube and Twitch. I'm going on almost every day and showing my progress of building these businesses and these business systems. So right now it's showing the overall progress. And this is just the steps that I've laid out and the plan I've laid out. So one of the first things you always want to do is, do a plan. Plan MD is what I did. This is based off the Plan MD where we're at so far, just getting everything set up. So I'm about halfway through, and it's going to let me know, how many commits there are. One of the main steps was setting up the email address with the marketing and giving me a roadmap. Market research is done. Audience intel is in progress. Email is near done. Now I got the campaigns, the analytics, and the agents. So those are the major steps. And I could probably have it break it down into like sub steps within these, but this is giving me a very good idea. So I don't have to keep asking Claude, okay, what's next? Okay, what have we already done? That's how I used to do it in the past. And that not only is really boring, but it takes time every time for Claude to generate those responses. So it's showing me build progress by area, and it's breaking it down much better. So I can really see like where the bottlenecks are, where things are getting not working. Like even though I'm done with some tasks, there's stuff that I need to go back and make sure it's working correctly over time. So this status detail is pretty nice. It basically shows me what's shipped, what's queued. It's kind of the same thing as before, but it's basically like giving me a different visual way to look at it. The in repo build versus the external kind of breaks it down a little bit differently, lets my brain kind of understand things in a different way. Risks and watch items, this is very important. Things that I need to remember to check. I can just take a screenshot of this, or, if I just leave my computer on, when I come back next time, I don't have to ask Claude. I can just go and look at this and I know exactly where I'm going to get started. So basically, this is one of the first artifacts I've created. It took about 5 minutes for Claude to create this, and this was basically at the end of my session today. So 2 sessions, I've already done all this with this Prana business. Prana is a play on 2 words, Fibonacci sequence, which is essentially mathematical equation of life. It explains like seashells, the galaxy, pine cones, a lot of things in nature. It's an ancient understanding, ancient mathematical equation. Prana is like an ancient understanding of energy. So this is going to be a very interesting business that I think will provide a lot of value to a lot of people. And in the past, something like this would have taken like, almost like a half a day to a day to compile in something like Notion. But I got this done in like 5 minutes. And I mean, really, I only spent like 5 seconds just telling Claude to create it. And Claude spent about 5 minutes just creating it. So, this is a real mindset shift. Turns you from a worker trying to manually coordinate data into a sovereign executive who lets the machine generate its own executive summaries. No more status update meetings. Imagine sending this link to a client or a stakeholder. They can keep the browser tab open, refresh it, and see the velocity of the work, of the business, of the progress in real time without ever typing a status report. So, if you want to know more about this, feel free. Any comments or questions? What kind of interactive artifacts would you want to try building first? And make sure to, whatever you do, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm coming through with new information steady. And I would have to say that's it for this video. Hopefully you got a lot of value off of what I had to tell you. There we go.